Honda's new electric SUV might be small, but its global ambitions are big. The Zero Alpha prototype previews a compact global EV with futuristic styling, smart packaging, and big ambitions. Honda Zero Alpha prototype previews a smaller global EV for Japan and India. It shares design cues and platform with the Zero SUV and Zero Saloon. Expected features include an ultra-thin battery and 300-mile range. The SUV staring back at you here is the Honda Zero Alpha, unveiled in a world premiere at the Japan Mobility Show and already edging toward production within the next 2 years. It's officially labeled a prototype, but as we've seen in the past, in Honda terms, that means pre-production rather than pure concept. It joins the Zero Saloon and Zero SUV that made their debut earlier this year, rounding out Honda's latest attempt to reinvent itself for the electric age. Honda refers to the Zero Alpha, as a gateway model for its Zero Series range of electric vehicles. The production model will hit the market in 2027 and be available in markets around the world, with a particular focus on Japan and India. It has a very similar design to the Zero SUV, but is slightly smaller. And, just like the 2 other Zero Series models, it looks unlike anything in Honda's current range. The most obvious points of difference between the Zero Alpha and the Zero SUV are found at the front. This smaller model rocks a set of different LED taillights and DRLs, but retains an illuminated Honda badge. The lower bumper has also been redesigned and looks slightly more aggressive with a pair of body-colored elements. From the side, the Zero Alpha looks almost indiscernible from the larger model. It retains the same odd shape with an incredibly high rear window and thick rear pillars. It also has the same rocker panels, the same basic doors, and the same flush handles. The most obvious difference is that it's slightly shorter and lacks the tiny window behind the C-pillars of the larger model. The similarities continue at the rear. Honda has equipped the Zero Alpha with a U-shaped LED light bar that stretches up the tailgate. Notably, the Zero Alpha has a larger rear window than the Zero SUV, which should improve rear visibility. A curvaceous bumper also catches the eye. Honda has yet to release any technical specifications about the new prototype. We know that the Zero Saloon and Zero SUV will share a platform with the Afeela EV that Honda co-developed with Sony. Presumably, the Zero Alpha will also use the same architecture. The carmaker notes that the Zero Alpha also adopts the same thin, light, and wise approach of the other Zero Series models. Honda has previously said this approach will lead to the creation of an ultra-thin battery pack and a compact e-axle. The thin battery pack will allow Honda to reduce the height of the floors in its EVs and boost cabin space without impacting ground clearance. As with the other Zero Series models, the Zero Alpha should hit the market with at least 300 miles or 483 kilometers of range. All Zero Series models are also tipped to hit the market with Level 3 self-driving capabilities that include an eyes-off function for highway traffic jams. We also know the Zero Saloon and Zero SUV will come standard with NACS charging ports, although it's unclear if the Zero Alpha will as well, given that Honda hasn't mentioned any plans to sell it in North America.